probability? And what are independent events?
It means that two events are independent if event A occurs and does not affect event B. But what does that even mean? We are going to look at this idea using real-life events in order to make more sense of independent events. Let's start with a simple concept. Are the chances of it raining and being cloudy independent of one another? No, the chances of it raining and being cloudy are not independent events because most times when it is raining, it is also cloudy at the same time, so the events are associated with one another. Are these events independent? A person who has blue hair walking down the street and it's starting to rain? Of course these two events are independent. Having blue hair does not affect it starting to rain at all. So like we have seen, most times when it is raining, it is usually cloudy, and when it is cloudy, it can also start to rain. These events affect the outcomes of one another, making them not independent. But having blue hair will not make it start raining, making these events independent because they do not have an effect on one another. Now that we have seen some simple problems, we are going to now look at the real probability. So before we get into the problem, we got to see the equation to begin with. So probability is the number of times an event occurs over the total number of outcomes. A simple way to see how this equation works is to look at a coin. So a coin has one side that's heads and one side that's tails. So the probability of flipping heads would be 1 over 2 total outcomes, and the probability of flipping tails would be 1 out of 2 total outcomes as well. Now we're going to look at the idea of with replacement. So in a class with 3 boys and 2 girls, what is the probability of a boy getting chosen over a girl? So the probability of a boy would be 3 possible choices over 5 total outcomes, and the probability of choosing a girl would be 2 possible choices over 5 total outcomes. So if I was to choose a boy on my first pick and put that boy back into the group, that would be called with replacement. It does not change the total outcomes, so the probability of choosing a boy would still stay 3 over 5, and the probability of choosing a girl would still stay 2 over 5 as well. When using probability with replacement, the events are not affected by one another because you are replacing your last choice. So this is called an independent event. We are now going to look at the idea of without replacement, which is not an independent event. So if I was to choose one of the boys from the group of 5 students and not put him back in the group before my second choice, this would become a non-independent event because the probability of the boys would change to 2 over 5 rather than 3 over 5. The event of not replacing the boy back into the group affects the probability of the boys, making it a non-independent event. So by using events that are easily relatable to students, students can easily understand the probability within the math. So when we are looking at the clouds and the rain, it is easily noticeable that when it is raining, it is most likely that it will be cloudy outside. And when it is cloudy, it is most likely that it will be raining outside as well. So students can easily notice this connection between the two not independent events. And when looking at the idea of independent events, using 2 events that are totally unrelatable make it very easy for students to understand why they are independent. As we saw in the video, blue hair and rain are very unrelatable to each other, so students can easily see that these are very independent events. This video was made to show how to make probability easy to understand and relatable for students. By using relatable events in probability, it engages a student and helps them to easily understand the topic that we are discussing, which is independent events. I hope this helps with the learning and teaching of independent events. Thanks for watching.